Nestled in historic downtown Apex, there's a place where you can experience the wonders of craft beer. Enjoy a wide selection of beers from North Carolina, the U.S., and around the world. And it's only at the Beer Dispensary.
Hi, I'm Glenn. This is Dave. We're NC Beer Guys. We promote NC Craft Beer online at ncbeerguys.com. We are drinking beer today,
yes.
But you might see the signs on the bottle. It says Root Beer, but it's Big Boss Root Beer Stout. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of you beer drinkers who may have tried the last couple of years, some of the tempting root beer offerings from like Coney Island or Not Your Father's Root Beer, and maybe been a little dissatisfied with those because they were like more
soda than beer,
or more sweet syrup, something,
very sweet,
and maybe like it was an alcoholic root beer, not so much like beer.
Yeah, it's more like hard soda.
We had a chance to sample this out at Big Boss recently, and it is not that way. And we're looking forward to really getting our hands on it today. So, for you guys who don't know about Big Boss was started in 2006, shipped its first beer in 2007 in the Triangle area. It was formed in collaboration between Jeff Lamb, a UNC graduate who returned to North Carolina in 2006 to join forces with brewmeister Brad Wynn, who had at that time more than 12 years of brewing experience, which included several years with Victory, Wild Goose, and Native Brewing Company. At Big Boss, they say they brew, quote, real beer. Beer for people who appreciate the fact that while different styles of beer taste different, a well-made beer always satisfies. Big Boss is designed to be appreciated, but crafted to be enjoyed. It's a beer drinker's house brand, always satisfying. They invite us to enjoy a pint when we're out and keep a few in the fridge, and of course, always to stop by at the tap room at Big Boss, and they've also now got a second tap area downstairs,
which is big and nice and
it's not the default one. I think they don't really use it like every day. But if you have any overflow crowd, they open it downstairs when they have a big crowd and it's very nice, and it really does expand their capacity.
Oh, sure.
They didn't have a lot of space upstairs in that place.
Well, at that point, you can also, when you're drinking, you can look over at the brewing equipment. You can see the brew house.
Yeah, it did. That's a perk right there. It was very removed and dark and upstairsy.
Well, upstairs is like a little tavern, but now you get downstairs and you're in the brewery and you're drinking at the brewery.
So they say this is locally made root beer stout.
Yeah, make sure you put that stout.
That's right.
Every time.
A local option is here. Our root beer stout is a bottle-only release. It's very limited.
Wrong glasses.
Keep going.
These are IPA glasses.
They only made 200 cases, and they were emphasizing the stout part of this beer, and it shipped around Raleigh, Durham, and Charlotte. So if you didn't get one and you only got 200 cases and it's been out a week or 10 days now, you may not have any luck getting it, but stout glasses for a root beer stout.
That's right.
So I was doing an online search for other people what are saying about the beer, and this one guy says, it brought me back to my younger days when the local A&W drive-in sold A&W root beer on tap in frosted mugs. Big Boss captured that Big Boss captured that root beer scent perfectly, and I do think the aroma is just wonderful.
Yeah.
That's nice pour, Dave.
I thought I kind of overdid it.
Well, it'll be good.
Yeah.
He said, you might have expected a syrupy, sweet root beer, but that's when I came back to Big Boss as the taste was pure stout. Some vanilla notes, perhaps a bit of chocolate in there from the malt, and of course that would be expected as a stout, and no denying I was drinking a stout. Not a thick, chewy stout, to be sure, as the clock's in relatively light, 6.75% ABV.
Ooh, I didn't know that, I forgot.
So it is much heavier than a root beer, of course.
Yeah.
It is alcoholic, and we don't want you offering it to the kids as a soda. It's not a soda, as again we'll say, it's not a root beer. It is a beer.
It is a beer.
Flavored up like a root beer.
Yes. So just always keep that in the back of your heads that Brad got them to make a beer that has a root beer flavor to it.
And when we talked to him about it, part of what he said was he had heard other people doing it, and had seen the reaction to it, and people seem to be into the root beer flavor.
Right.
But yet, real beer drinkers had not been in a while. Those other two I mentioned have been extremely popular. I mean, everybody had to get their hands on it when it was first out.
Yeah, and now they're at the supermarkets and they're all over the place.
Right. But it also follows the whole trend of the hard sodas and the flavor, the craft.
Right.
Just be careful. I mean, I think it's a slippery slope when all these beer flavors are marketed toward these kids kind of markets and flavors.
Yeah.
It seems like it may not be the right encouragement. So I'm glad that they're emphasizing the beerness of this beer.
So it's got a thick, as you can see, thick head on it.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
It definitely has
That root beer aroma is just coming right at you. But even in the aroma, you get, it's not root beer.
Right.
I think.
It's not as sweet as you get from the root beer aroma.
Mm-hmm. And I think you're getting some of the maltiness and the stoutness behind it.
See, now here, it's beer. I mean, it's a stout. It's slightly sweet, but it's not as sweet, because of root beer. You get that, here you get the essence. It's not overwhelmingly sugary.
No, not at all.
The soda caramel flavors that you get with it. And I forgot what root beer, what the...
it's sarsaparilla, isn't it?
Yeah,
what it is?
Yeah, so I think...
I don't actually know how they flavored this, and I won't say because I don't know. But however they do it, it definitely isn't appealing to the beer drinker who likes root beer too.
Yes.
This is a great match. Unlike some of those others that wasn't really root beer and wasn't really beer, and you didn't really what you were getting. It was sweet and soupy and sour, syrupy.
Right.
This is just so appealing.
Right.
For the root beer lover, who also mostly likes beer.
Well, it's for the beer drinker, and that's I think what he did was a great idea to keep it true to the style of having a stout.
But yet, such a great stout, even behind the root beer flavor. It's just so smooth, substantial.
Yeah, look at that head still holding up. It's creamy head.
Yeah, the way they lace that on the glass is nice.
So, if you get, these will be, like I said, it's 200 cases.
200 cases, very limited run for them.
So, when you see it, grab it, and then what you have to do, make sure, because he doesn't know if he wants to bring it back. So
they do.
You need to get a voice onto this thing to say, hey, keep making this.
They were very honest about that. They said, it's not quite some of what they would normally do, and they wanted to try it, and they did a limited run of it. But if you are a big fan of it and get your hands on it, you might let somebody know at Big Boss.
Make it known.
Make sure you check it in on Untappd and give them good ratings, and anywhere you can feedback to Big Boss, make sure they know this is a hit, and you might see it again.
Well, that's it. Or go to the brewery and say, hey, Brad, keep it going.
Hey, Brad.
That's the way to do it.
I think this is an excellent example. So our hats are off again to the guys at Big Boss. They always do great things at Big Boss.
That's right.
We always enjoy drinking their beer.
Yep.
So until next time, this is David Glenn reminding you to drink local and keep your beer dollars and your root beer dollars in North Carolina.